Geonosis, a planet of rust-red sands and unforgiving deserts, was known for its hostile environment and the ancient hive cities of the Geonosians, the insectoid inhabitants who had long thrived in the harsh wastelands. It was a place where few survived for long, but those who did were shaped by its brutal heat and relentless landscapes. Here, warriors and hunters alike were forced to adapt, and it was on Geonosis that the greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy, Jango Fett, had recently established himself. Jango Fett's presence was marked by the smoldering remains of his enemies, the craters from his wrist rocket detonations, and the whispers among the Geonosians about the infamous Mandalorian armored warrior. Recently hired by Geonosis' ruling elite for his skill and ruthlessness, Jango's brutal efficiency made him both respected and feared on this desolate world. He was not a mere soldier, but a one-man army armed with a vast arsenal and trained to face any foe, human or otherwise. However, in the vastness of the galaxy, there were forces that roamed in search of even greater challenges. The assassin predator, an elite among its deadly kin, had followed rumors of Jango Fett's reputation across systems, driven by a desire to face only the most formidable prey. With a series of encrypted transmissions, it gathered intelligence on the legendary bounty hunter, his weaponry, and his famed skill. Now its ship sped through hyperspace toward the Crimson Planet, its goal set on a confrontation that would push both hunter and hunted to their limits. The assassin predator's vessel arrived over Geonosis in the dead of night, its cloaking systems masking its descent to the planet's rocky surface. Its landing was silent and unmarked by light, hidden behind a jagged mesa overlooking the desert plain where Jango Fett had established his temporary camp. The Predator's ship disengaged its cloaking just long enough to allow the creature to emerge, equipped with a vast arsenal of advanced weaponry, including wrist-mounted plasma casters, retractable spear, and the infamous wrist blades that extended with a metallic hiss. The Predator activated its cloak once more, blending into the night. Through its mask, the creature's heat vision lit up the area, detecting Jango's movements as he patrolled the desert near a crumbling Geonosian ruin. To the assassin predator, each step Jango took was a new opportunity to study his gait, his reflexes, and his combat readiness. From the flicker of infrared movements across Jango's armor, it analyzed his weaponry, the dual Westar 34 blasters, flamethrower, jetpack, and vibroblade hidden at his side. Every weapon would be tested, every technique evaluated. The Predator stalked Jango for 2 full days, studying him from afar, occasionally leaving small signs of its presence, strange footprints in the sand, blaster marks on the surrounding rocks, and whispers on the wind that unsettled even the Geonosians who observed from the shadows. Jango, however, was not so easily rattled. The seasoned bounty hunter was aware of his shadowy observer and quietly adjusted his routine, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. Finally, on the 3rd day, Jango decided to confront his unseen tracker. He set up a decoy campsite in an open stretch of desert, igniting a small fire and laying his helmet on the sand as if to lure his hunter. Then, from a concealed vantage point atop a rocky ridge, he waited. Hours passed, and then he saw it, a faint shimmer in the air as the Predator decloaked, stepping forward cautiously, analyzing the helmet before it. Jango took the opportunity to unleash an ambush, firing a precise round from his blaster. The plasma bolt scorched through the air, aimed directly at the Predator's head. But the creature anticipated the attack, evading with inhuman speed. The ambush had been sprung, and now the deadly dance began. Jango rocketed down from his perch, firing both blasters with practiced precision as he closed the distance. The Predator retaliated, activating its shoulder-mounted plasma caster, and the desert exploded with flashes of red and green as energy blasts crisscrossed the night. Each movement was a deadly ballet as Jango rolled, evaded, and returned fire with the skill of a seasoned warrior. His flamethrower unleashed a torrent of fire that forced the Predator to retreat, but only momentarily, as it lunged forward, extending its wrist blades with a deadly hiss. The two combatants closed into melee range, their blows resounding through the desert. Jango ducked and wove, parrying the predator's swipes with his vibroblade, sparks flying as steel met alien alloy. The predator's strength was formidable, and each of its strikes threatened to shatter Jango's defenses, but he countered with sheer speed and precision, landing blows on its armor that left scorched dents. As the fight raged on, Jango utilized every tool at his disposal, detonating miniature explosives that disoriented the predator, firing his knee rocket to create a cloud of sand that blinded his opponent temporarily, and finally launching into the air with his jetpack to rain down blaster fire from above. Yet, the predator was far from outmatched. It swiftly recalibrated its strategies, dodging and anticipating Jango's moves with every exchange. The predator fired its plasma caster, striking Jango's jetpack and sending him crashing to the ground. Dazed but undeterred, Jango crawled to his feet, firing his blasters in rapid succession, forcing the predator to advance more cautiously. With a growl, the creature discarded its plasma caster, choosing instead to rely on its physical prowess, as both hunter and hunted engaged in brutal hand-to-hand combat. And the predator's wrist blade slashed dangerously close to Jango's neck, grazing his armor, but Jango retaliated with a powerful uppercut that sent the predator staggering. Seizing the moment, Jango launched another knee rocket directly at the creature's torso, sending it hurtling back and leaving a smoldering wound. It hissed in pain but fought on, showing no signs of retreat. Finally, as dawn broke over Geonosis, the two combatants stood bloodied and exhausted. The predator, with one final surge of strength, drove its wrist blade through a gap in Jango's armor. Jango gasped, blood seeping from his wound, but he did not flinch or beg for mercy. In his final act of defiance, he reached for his blaster, aiming it at the predator's head. But the assassin predator, impressed by his unyielding spirit, leaned in close, allowing Jango's strength to wane in his grasp. Then, with a swift and final movement, it ended the fight, bowing its head slightly in respect for the fallen warrior. The sun cast its unforgiving light over the battle-scarred field as the assassin predator stood over Jango Fett's lifeless body. It carefully removed the helmet, inspecting its fallen prey as a symbol of honor. Jango Fett, the most dangerous bounty hunter in the galaxy, had proven himself a formidable opponent, one that the predator would remember for the rest of its life. But it wasn't alone. As the creature prepared to depart, a shadow emerged from behind a cluster of rocks, a small, resolute figure who had watched the battle in silence. It was Boba Fett, Jango's son, his eyes wide with horror and determination. The predator turned to face him, noting the spark of fury in the boy's eyes, sensing the legacy that Jango had left behind in this young warrior. For a moment, the two shared an unspoken understanding, and then, with a nod, the predator activated its cloak, vanishing into the desert's morning haze. But Boba's mind was already set, the seeds of vengeance taking root. He would grow to become a hunter even more relentless than his father, and one day he would find the creature that took his father from him. The predator's hunt had ended, but it would soon become the hunted. Thus, on Geonosis, a new chapter began, a vow carved into the red sands that both the predator and young Boba Fett would carry into the galaxy, each knowing that the greatest hunt still lay ahead.